Hey, what's up everybody? This is Steven with another Pixel for Life video tutorial. Today we are going to do something a little bit different. It is, I guess you can consider it making a wallpaper. If you've ever been to Grooveshark, you probably have seen this. It's their background. I'm just going to show how to create this. I'm not taking credit for it. I'm just going to show how to make it because I think it looks pretty cool. Alright, so I'm going to leave this open so we can steal some colors from it. And just going to put it to the side a little bit and jump into here and just shrink it down. So this size can be anything you want. You can get your screen resolution. I just made it like 768 by 480 or something just so it fits on the screen. So the first step that you want to do, go to your layers panel and double click this and click OK just so it's unlocked. Then double click this again and go down to gradient overlay. Open this up, and here's a secret. Are you ready? Click the background and then drag off. Actually, we got to move this over a little bit. Let's see. Alright, so take this this blue again and click and drag off. And then the white one, click and drag off. And then we're going to make one right here for this orange color right here. Alright, click OK, and you can see how nice that looks. Very nice. I'm impressed. So make a new layer and grab your custom shape tool, and I'm going to grab this retro star shape. I'll have a link in the sidebar for where you can download it. So just click that, hold down shift or so, and just drag it out, something like this. Alright. So once you have that, you can go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and it's going to say you have to rasterize it because this shape is a vector. So you just click OK, it rasterized it. Let's bring this down quite a bit. Yeah, right there is fine. That looks good. Alright, so when you have that, just lower down the opacity. Let's go with something like that. Alright, let's go back to this image here, slide it over, because we need to steal this light blue, which I think is what's in my color picker now. Alright, so when you have that, make a new layer, grab your brush tool, and oops, don't see that, don't look yet. You're not supposed to see that. Reset brushes. Alright, so I grabbed a hardness all the way down, and the diameter, I'm just using my right and left brackets to scale this up. So I'm just going to paint here and bring it off. Do whatever you think looks good. You can always grab the eraser tool and just, oops, the hardness is up, and just bring that, make it look like it fades off better. Alright, so when you have that, we got this done, we're going to next do these little bubbles right here, these little flares or whatever you want to call it. So below this blue layer, I'm going to make a new layer, and we're going to grab a brush like this, something pretty small, and go to your brush presets. You can find this in Windows, Window Brushes. Then when you have that, go to the top, change the hardness to, I don't know, 60 or so. Spacing, drag that up pretty high. Go to Shape Dynamics. Size jitter, this is how big and how small the different shapes will be. So when you look, you see it's getting bigger and smaller. Alright, so minimum diameter, we'll leave that off. Go to scattering, and that's how much it spaces it out. And scattering, I have it all the way full, count is on 3. Let's go back to here and make this hardness just a little bit harder. Something like that. So when you have that, you can switch over to white and just get the right size. And just paint randomly. Scale down your size. Go wild. Do something nice. Okay, now that you have that, let's double click it and lower this fill opacity. Add an outer glow. Change it to white. Bring that opacity way down. Something like that. Click OK. And then it still seems a little bright. I don't know. We'll leave it. Alright, so when you have that, let's name this so this doesn't get so so confusing. Let's name these wacky dots. This will be sunny sun, and this will be, I don't know, your mother. And this will be blue shine. So when you have that, make a new layer, and let's do the same thing, because as you can see it has the same dots up here. This one we're just going to go wild and have a little seizure. Click around, do a lot of random things, different sizes. The more random the better it'll look. Alright, so when you have that, I'm not going to add that same glow effect. I'm just going to lower this opacity way down. Something like that. And this flare, this sunny sun right here, seems a little bit bright, so I'm going to bring that down. So when you have that, I'm going to make a new layer right at the top. And if you remember, I told you to forget what you saw when I first opened up my brush palettes. So forget that and go to this arrow here and click assorted brushes. You can go to append and it'll just add it to the bottom. So when you have that, click on, I think that's the flare. Bring that down and go back to your brush presets. Change the spacing. Shape, we'll leave it like that. Scattering, just like that. So then this, we're just going to click and drag a little bit. Something like that. And if you can see, this looks just slightly different. This has like a little bit of a glow to it. So I'm going to double click this. Go to outer glow. Just going to add that glow. We can make it white and bring this to normal. There you go. Lower this opacity. And that's about it. Now that you have this, you can create a new layer if you want and do something with text like Steven, and then add a drop shadow to it, distance 1, size 1, drop down that opacity, new layer, and then put rocks. Everybody has to write that. And scale it down. And we'll make it bold because, oh, extra bold, even better, perfect. Let's make it a little bit larger. So when that's there, just copy over that effects, slide it over so the K lines up with the N, bring it down, and you know what, while we're at it, let's make it look even nicer. I just group that together, and I'm going to hold down Command and just center it. So let's create a new layer inside of this group underneath Steven, and we're going to make a square or a rectangle and fill that with white. Deselect, filter, noise, add noise, and these are my settings. It's a lot of precision right here. 0.27 is mandatory. No, I'm just kidding. So when you have that, click OK. Go to blur, add a Gaussian blur. Or no, I'm sorry. Blur, add a motion blur. And that's good. Bring that opacity way down. And now that I'm looking at it, we forgot one step, and that is these giant glossy balls. So create a new layer, and we are going to go back to the top of our brushes and make a big brush, and it's going to have 100% hardness. So just click randomly, and then I'm going to create a new layer underneath this, and I'm just going to click underneath it, go back to this top layer, let's go to here and here, underneath it again. Alright, like that. So I'm going to bring this down to like 7. This one down to 7 as well. And there you go. This looks awesome. Hope you had fun. Hope you learned something. And I'll see you next time.